PurlCast 20-something, and I'm here with my knitting co-host friends, Jill and Lindsay from Illinois. Yay! It's been a while, you guys. It's been a while. So I'm glad we're back together.
We're happy to be 20-something. Like, thrilled to be 20-something, so.
I know. Yeah. So we're going to talk about what we've been working on with the Frog It or Finish It. We're going to talk about the step-by-step sock knit along. And we're going to show our yarny acquisitions. So it's spring. It's spring. I mean, what today or tomorrow isn't it the vernal equinox?
Isn't it today?
I think it's today.
The 21st.
Yeah.
Today.
So we're recording this on the vernal equinox. It will probably be posted a few days from now, but it is spring in some parts of the country. We, on the other hand, still have blizzards. That's normal. That's normal. It usually snows until May. We will start our seeds, our tomatoes inside, under grow lights. We look like we're growing other things besides tomatoes. But that's all right. There really are tomatoes. So, do you guys garden? Do you start a garden?
We have, typically, I have, like, irises are coming up right now. Tulips are coming up. Daffodils are coming up. We had a lot of work in our yard done kind of unexpectedly to ward off some basement stuff. And so stuff that normally comes up is gone. So I'm actually finding some surprises, which is really cool because some of it got dug up and some of it didn't. And I found irises in a patch where there were no irises.
Oh, because the dirt got rearranged, right?
The bulldozer came in and left it. And I tell you what, that was the happiest surprise today. I looked at my window and I thought, there's irises out there.
That's
oh my
cool.
gosh, the irises from my great-grandmother's yard made it, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So that was pretty cool. So I love the surprises that you find in spring. You know, you move the leaves away to see if they're poking up out of the ground. So, happy day.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you garden? Do you plant stuff, Lindsay?
No.
Oh, no. Like I should have known that, right?
No, I'm not capable of that.
Of course you are.
Herbs?
No, I'm not. I did basil and then it died.
Okay.
I tried tomatoes. They never happened.
You have to water them.
I did. And I did rosemary, but I got basically the rosemary that I had purchased. So no, I don't. I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay.
I don't need to.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's spring. And I will say that even though we still have snow, it's warmer snow. I mean,
Doesn't seem
I
like
know
a
what
thing.
you mean.
You know, it's the big wet floppy snow that melts faster, and it's not, you know, the snow that's really going to stick around for weeks. Mm-hmm. Right. So it's the snow that the wheat farmers like because it melts slowly, and it, you know, all the winter wheat that is now growing more gets watered without being washed away. So yeah. So yay. I have to say, you have yarn behind you, Jill, that's very spring-like. Your bakery tray pyramid of cotton dishcloth yarn is very...
I was going to say, it's my washcloth yarn. That just makes me happy. Some of the stuff is okay to be put out in boxes, and some of it is just meant to be enjoyed.
Yes, it's very festive, right?
Yes.
You could change it out for the seasons.
Right. You could.
Yeah,
you totally could put different things in that bakery pyramid thing that's like color coordinated for the seasons.
Red for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just the browns for fall.
But it's very Eastery right now.
It is.
See, now that you said that, people are going to be watching for that next time. I have these spring colors in there. There's a little pressure there.
I mean,
well, I mean, we all have jobs and things going on, so I'm sure it will be fine either way.
It's more fun, though.
Yeah, definitely. So how's the Frog It Finish It thing going? Lindsay, how's your Afghan squares going?
Well, I started with, let's see, I have them all right here because I'm prepared for the first time.
Yay.
So when we started frogging it or finishing it, I had finished this one.
That was number one.
I had finished this one.
I don't remember what number that is.
2.
Oh, no, 2 is like this. Because I remember how tedious it was. That's
this
number
one.
2.
Okay.
Oh, I love your colors.
They're so pretty.
And
There's
then
two
I had also finished this one it's not blocked clearly. And then I had finished this much of this one. So then in my 12 hours, I got done the whole block
Oh my gosh.
and this block and this much of this next one.
Wow, that's a lot.
I
Wow,
know. I've heard that I'm a fast knitter.
So people that, if you viewers aren't understanding what we're talking about, the 12-hour, the Frog It or Finish It thing, you'll have to go check out that video and the knit along in the Ravelry group. It was about the Gideon Method, which is basically getting your whips in order and spending 12 hours on each thing, 12 knitting hours on each thing before you move on. And that's the method for actually getting things done. So
I'm pulling up my timer.
And then she's moving on to something else for the next 12 hours.
So this was my next 12 hours. Oh no, my next 12 hours was the harvest cardigan for the baby, but I'm not sure where it is. But I finished it in 1 hour and 55 minutes.
Well, you had like a sleeve left and
I had 2 sleeves.
Yeah.
And then I started these mitts. I had like this much of mitt 1 done.
And these are the Vivid mitts, is the pattern.
So this is 1. And then I have 7 hours in on these, but I moved to the next thing because I didn't want to join new yarn. I mean, I should join new yarn. I am capable of joining new yarn.
Of course
it's just that I have 6 rows left of 2x2 and this much yarn. And I didn't want to get out my thing to like ball the next game. So
binder. Okay.
Yeah. And then I finished Hayden's
right.
Yes, Brioche beanie. This also only took like an hour.
You were almost done.
I was almost done with it, so I didn't like do the whole thing in an hour. And then I threw in an extra project because that's just who I am. And I was gonna make this hat for my mom, but I didn't check gauge. I just followed the pattern and used the correct yarn and the correct needles. And it is more like a hat for a 4-year-old. And
correct is subjective.
I know. I used the yarn that she suggested and the needles she suggested, and this one took about 2.5 hours. This is called Big Cat, I think. Yeah.
It's cute. It's small, but it's cute.
It is small. And I just feel like, I haven't weaved the inside on this, but like, I feel like my floats are really good because it looks like the same as the inside, as the outside.
Lovely.
So
pretty.
And then I started my next, I have 2 hours in on this, which is a romper that is size 6 to 9 months.
So cute.
So I finished the sleeves and now I'm doing the sleeve and arm shaping.
Oh, because it's a short sleeve thing. I see now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like sleeve.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Oh, and Jill, you got me this yarn.
Oh, I remember. That's
the Georgia.
Oh, it's the Sweet Georgia.
Uh-huh.
I got that in Chicago.
Yeah, that you brought back from your trip that time.
Yeah, because Lindsay and her husband were watching.
You gave it to her on the podcast episode. I remember.
Yeah.
Look, that's a lot. You did a lot.
Yeah, and I've also worked on the sock quite a bit.
Yeah. And what yarn is that?
Happy Feet Splash.
Okay.
And I don't remember the color, but it's a pretty one.
It's speckled.
It is really pretty. Can you put it close? Because it has like aquas, I think, and some maroons.
Oh, wow.
And some greens.
Wow. Oh, that's
really pretty.
Yeah, that's cool. Because when you kind of flashed it by before, it looked kind of just like black and white speckle, like cookie.
Yeah.
It's so
pretty.
And
I think for the, I didn't grab it. I think for the sock thing now that you're doing, that I'm going to make my husband's socks out of the same yarn that Jill made her husband. a pair of socks.
Does
The
Hayden
white
have,
with the
does he have big feet or not?
no.
Okay.
He wears like size 8.5.
Then you'll have plenty. Then you'll have enough yarn. Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
will.
Because when I talk about making my husband socks, it's
It's a sleeve.
a lot.
It's a sleeve.
No, it'll be about this size.
After I knit my husband's socks, I looked and went, dude, I can do a sweater.
Yes.
When you're doing like size 13 men's socks, those suckers are huge.
Yes.
I know. Between his 2 socks and your cowl for days, you have knit a sweater in sock yarn.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You've basically knit a jumper.
I kind of showed Lindsay that the other day. I was showing her how large it was. And actually, if you put it up, you know how when they go to Rhinebeck or something like that, all you really have to do is put things on it. And it could be like a jumper, like a Stephen West creation, you know?
So you're talking about your Second Avenue shawl, correct?
Second
Okay.
Avenue.
Just for the sake of the viewers,
Very long.
it's fantastic though.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Did you finish it?
I am weaving in the ends right now.
Show us.
And show you the ends. Holy cow. So I never understood why people had problems with weaving in the ends, because it was like, oh, weaving in the ends, it's no big deal. I don't think I ever truly appreciated weaving in the ends until I was weaving in the ends on this gigantic sock weight, change the color all the time shawl. It's like a project in itself. I should have like been allowed 12 hours for the shawl and then another 12 hours to weave in the ends.
Unless you weave them in as you go.
So I will be practicing that.
Mhm.
I tried it on one part, but I think I tried to make them too long.
Okay.
I tried to do it for
Yeah.
too long, and so I made it bunchy. For some reason, I'm always thinking it's going to come apart. Like, how it's going to come apart, I have no idea. You could probably weave it in for this much and you'd be fine, but I decided to weave it in for way
She
too long.
is certain that everything she knits is going to unravel from the middle. Like, it's like a scarf like this long, and she thinks that at this point right here, it's all going to unravel.
So, as a result, I may have woven them in as we go for much longer than was really necessary.
It's all right. It's all right. It better that than doing it only for a couple stitches and then regretting that, you know, that's fine. So Jill, I know you've been working a ton, understandably, so you probably haven't gotten a lot of time to do the frogette, finish it. Yeah. But you did, yeah, you finished the hat.
I have a couple. So I made my son a hat for Christmas. He asked for one, and I made it, and it was a little bit too small. It was a little bit too small. It was supposed to be slouchy, and it really kind of looked like an elf hat. It kind of was like pointy at the top. So he would put it on, and then he'd have to pull it down like this. And then when he pulled it down, it'd pop up off his forehead and he had curls. It's like this one patch of curls would come out. And he looked like a cartoon character, like a teenage boy with a receding hairline with a pop of curls and this hat. And he's definitely knit worthy, really wanted to wear the hat, kept wearing it, looked kind of ridiculous. But so I thought, okay, I will knit him a hat that fits. And so there were 2 sizes, but as an adult medium and an adult large.
Because you made the medium at first.
I did medium at first. So then I did the adult large using different needles too, and thinking all the time that the last one was too small. So I really should be generous when I did it. So
is it huge?
Well, not as much as it was, because well, it was way too big for him to wear. So I decided to try an experiment, and even though it was superwash, I decided to put it, dude, it was like, how do you salvage that? So I decided to put it in the washer and dryer.
Especially because you spent so much time on it.
So this hat, I thought would take me 4 or 5 hours. It took like 10 and a half, because it has a twisted rib. And so when I probably got up to here and there was a mistake and I had to go all the way back and rip out all the twisted rib. And then when I got all the way up, I had gotten off the pattern and there was a blurb in it. So I bet I pulled it back 5 inches.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and that rib is 1 by 1.
it's 1 by 1 twisted rib. So
It's cute.
it works
So
now.
Did it work, your experiment?
It did.
What a risky experiment. I'm shocked that you took such a risk.
She's grown a lot.
Without consulting me.
It wasn't really wearable. You know, I got sad about it. That's the other great thing about this Frog It or Finish It. You can't put it away. You have to face what you don't want to face.
You got to deal with it.
I've not done that with my mitts that I have to join the yarn. I have not faced it. I just don't want to join the yarn. I know that that's dumb. I know joining yarn is easy.
It'll take you like 2 minutes.
I know. I could do it while we're sitting here and finish that mitt.
So I put it in, it shrunk it just enough. It was a super wash yarn. When it came out of the washing machine, it was, oh my gosh, I thought this is horrible. It was all over the place, but I put it in the dryer. I know, sacrilege, but it fits. It fits enough.
It works.
It did loosen up the stitch definition because it got a little bit fuzzy.
Yeah.
But it's so pretty.
But I like how it turned out. So that was my first 12 hours. And it does, because the last one truly was like that. It looked like a
And he likes it, right?
He does. He likes it. So that's what matters. Yep.
Okay.
So then I'm on my next set. I finished the second Avenue. I had to go backwards in that one too. And right now I can't remember why.
I do. It was because you had an extra stitch.
One extra stitch?
Didn't you? Or did you lose a stitch? Maybe I don't remember. I take it back. No, I do remember. Okay. You didn't go far enough. Like you were supposed to do one more row, but you changed colors a row early and you didn't like the way it looked and you had already cut the yarn. So you had to go back because you were scared it was going to unravel.
I was, because I thought if I just join it and I only have one more row to go, that I wouldn't want it to unravel. So, and you're right, I had cut it already.
Unravel.
So I took it and then I went back 3 rows and then I joined and then I went forward all of the rows. You're right.
You felt better about it then.
I did. And that's, and that's what did it for me. I'm like, there is no way I am going to spend.
Oh, let us see the whole thing. Oh, that's lovely.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
The jumpsuit version. No, it's nice. I like it.
It is.
I am very happy with it.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's so pretty.
Yep. So I'm super excited. I will be weaving in ends
For the rest of your life.
No. I think weaving in ends should be considered project number 3. I learned a picot bind off.
Yeah.
Super excited about little picot bind off.
Oh, that's cute.
And the other side, and when I block it, you'll see it more.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other side has scalloped edges. So I purchased blocking wires, and that will be my next learning thing, because I was talking to a friend and they were saying, if you want to make sure your picot bind off is all the same length, that you could do the blocking wire that way.
You can. The only other way I've done it is like, the mats that have the grid lines, like you can straighten it all and make it all the grid lines all on the same, on the same line and make sure everything's squared up. But the wire is easier, certainly if you weave that through all of those points. Yeah, it's absolutely easier. Yeah.
So
I have to borrow I mean, I have, my mom has a set. I just borrow them when I need to. Yeah.
So I borrowed some of Lindsay's blocking mats because this thing is huge and it's still chilly enough that I'll get to wear it. I'm super, super excited. I am close.
Yeah, and I don't have that many blocking mats, and so like when I've had something giant, like the Ancyra wrap was really, really long, I just did a quilt. I'm just saying that because a lot of some people don't have blocking mats, and you don't need to go out and buy anything, but I just put a quilt down. I mean, I vacuumed, and then I just put a quilt down in this spare bedroom.
I think I sent you with a yoga mat too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did the quilt and put, the pins in, and then I just closed the spare room door because the cats and the, Yeah, I mean, a clean blanket on the floor works just fine.
So when we are able to start new projects,
you're the boss. You can add to your 5.
Oh, I'm gonna go all the way through. I know what number 3 is after these ends get woven in.
Okay.
What's number 3?
The sad sock.
Oh. Okay.
It'll be good.
Do sad sock.
I'll do sad sock because then I can wear socks.
Right.
So that'll be nice. So it'll be sad sock, and the first thing I cast on is going to be worsted weight. Let me just.
Right.
I'm
no more sock yarn.
You've been knitting with fingering for quite some time now. With that.
Remember when you wouldn't knit with fingering? Look how far you've come.
I know. So fun.
Yeah, you've done a lot in a year. Yeah.
So, how about you, Gianna? What's on your?
Gosh. I am embarrassed to say that my Frogget or Finish It has stalled out. Well, here's why. Okay, I have one thing I can show you that I've been working on. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. You might have to write this down and then tell me what you think it's supposed to be pronounced at. Ready?
I'm ready.
I knew you would be. Okay. Ancyra.
Ancyra.
Correct.
I would say Ancyra.
Okay. That's probably it. Anyway, that's the name of the pattern.
What have you been calling it?
I haven't been calling it anything because I don't talk to myself that much and I didn't know. I didn't know.
No, that's fine.
That's
how I would say it is Ancyra.
Ancyra and Kyra. Probably not.
I don't think it's Ancyra.
I think you're right. And okay, we'll go with that. It's a cowl. And I've showed this at Knit Night a couple of times, but it's a cowl that's fingering weight. So you start with a provisional.
I've never seen this.
It's a provisional cast on here, right? So that'll go away. That turquoise business.
Right.
Will go away. And it's net on the bias. And then this is mosaic, which you're going to learn here pretty quick.
Oh, that's pretty. That's my college
color.
colors.
So then you graft this with a garter stitch version of it, the Kitchener. You would graft this. And then what's cool about it, though, is that instead of, even if it's like wrinkled up, you can still see the color. Because it's that vertical.
Oh, pretty.
You know what I mean?
Why have I never knit anything purple and gold?
But
I love purple and gold.
This is really cool if you have that one skein of sock yarn that you want to do something with that maybe isn't socks, and then you have a mini skein. It's perfect because this is only like 50 yards of a mini skein. So this is the Sanguine Griffin. The name of the company is the Sanguine Griffin, and the sock yarn is called Eidos, E-I-D-O-S. I've had this in my stash for probably 10 years. And then the mini skein was Black Sheep Dye Works and Marigold. It's their mini skein socks.
I love that cowl so much.
Yeah. So
I need that for Weston's homecoming.
There you go. So I don't even know because I forgot to set my timer. I'm really bad about that. Or then I'll leave it on. I'll get up and go do something and forget to tell it to stop. So, but this is cool. It's really easy. It's all garter stitch, except all you do to make it on the bias, all you do is knit through the front and back loop at the beginning. At the beginning of the row, you knit through the front and back, and then at the end of the row, you knit 2 together. And then you have whoop. That's all you do. Easy. you will learn to knit mosaic in April.
Woo!
That's coming up after our step-by-step sock along that we're doing now.
I have a knitting question.
Yeah.
About weaving in ends.
Okay.
So how far do you go in then when you're weaving in the ends? Like this one.
Well, it depends on, okay.
So I'm doing duplicate stitch.
Okay. I was just going to ask, are you doing duplicate stitch, or are you just going whoop, like diagonally down?
No, this is duplicate stitch.
Okay.
So how far do you go? Am I going too far?
I would probably do an inch and a half.
Okay.
But
Yeah, that looks like 4 inches.
It's up to you.
So it doesn't unravel. Okay. So I will.
It's probably unnecessary to do it for, I mean.
Really, it's the yarn is stretchy because it's like a mulberry silk wool blend. So it's really stretchy.
Well, and that's a good point, because I usually wait to weave in ends until after I block. And that's why. Because the yarn, it's not bad that you're doing it long, because it will, when you block it and you get it wet, it will, right. It's not bad that you're doing it long. I know that we're teasing you about that, but it does make a difference when you block it.
So you block it and then you weave in the ends?
I do.
I do too.
Okay.
So you're fine. You're fine. Because you're doing lots, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Because you're doing it for extra long tails. It's fine.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have the other Frog It Finish It project that I have. I posted it in the group. I made those purple clogs for my sister, and then I gave them to her. And so I don't have them here because I gave them to her because she helped me with my taxes, and that was a nightmare.
All right.
And it was her birthday in January, and I said, well, can we barter? Should I pay you? And your birthday's coming, and she needed new slippers because ones that she had that I made for her before were probably 6 or 7 years old. So I made her. So those took probably about 12 hours from start to finish. I mean, including the felting and
right,
and all the stuff. I finished some mitts. They're on my Ravelry page, and my child has them.
I think I saw them. The Pioneer mitts. Yeah,
they were on
pretty.
Instagram. The Pioneer gloves, right? They're fingerless mitts, and they have kind of a neat thumb gusset. I'll put a picture here. So those took, well, I don't know. See, that's the thing, is I have work knitting and I have other knitting. And so a lot of what happened to me in February and March was work knitting that I can't talk about yet. So that was a lot of my knitting time, was work knitting. But I did, I worked on that cowl some. I've worked on some socks a little bit. I could show you this. I started another color work hat, and this is just the corrugated ribbing. The red is the cable. The red's the cable, and that's just it. Is it's pretty thin wool, and so I'm not sure if I've cast on enough. But it's called the Beach Cap, and I thought I had a paper copy of the pattern. Here I do, because I printed it before I got Knit Companion.
Oh, pretty.
Oh, that star on the top.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think this is a paid pattern. Right. And the colors that I have, actually Val sent to me because they were the wool that she knitted, and she had a whole bunch of it left, and she wanted to know what I thought of it. So she sent me these little balls from Canada.
Oh, pretty.
So I don't know if I'm going to have enough either. We'll see. So, but it is thinner. I think it is thinner. It's thinner 2-ply. It seems less lofty than the Jamison's 2-ply jumper weight. So I'm not sure. I mean, I've cast on the number of stitches that it said for the corrugated ribbing, but it seems really small. I mean, it seems.
That was what Lindsay said about the hat. She's like, it's seeming a little bit small. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
Except for swatching.
So this might.
And reading the notes. Literally everybody in the pattern notes for the big cat hat that I made was like, this hat is way too small. I went up to this needle size.
Yeah. So I may start over with that at some point, but I have some other stuff, you know. Oh, can I show you my yarn acquisitions?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm doing the Sleeping Bear Yarn Club from Wool and Honey, and they're in Michigan, and you know it's a sock yarn club, and it's so fun to get their box every month. So this was for March.
So pretty.
It looks like March.
It does look like March. I agree. March, the best month.
Lamb Strings Yarn, and this is from lambstringsyarn.com, hand dyed on the Hudson in New York.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
So that's really cool. And then this was January. I think I might have showed this at a previous podcast. That was January.
Yes, because it reminds me of Starry Night.
And this was February.
Well, I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't remember
those
that one.
pinks.
Oh, because it's pinks and purples.
That's my kind of yarn.
Yep.
So
pretty.
And it's pretty cool too because they send you a little stitch marker. And so now I have all these little stitch markers that kind of go together, you know, in a theme. So that's been a lot of fun. But all right. I don't have the book. All right. You know who Elizabeth Zimmerman is, the kind of the mother of American knitting. Okay. Have you seen her pie shawl?
No.
It's a circle, as in pi, the mathematical, you know,
3.14
pi. It's a circle, and in that pattern has been published several times in different books, but also on their DVD. I don't know if you can buy the pattern individually from Schoolhouse Press or not. But the shawl that I ordered this next yarn for is called the Pi R Squared, and it's instead of being a whole circle, it's a U shape. It's like a horseshoe shape, and then it has a split. So it's like, you know, it's not a whole circle where you'd have to fold it in half to wear it. It's actually, and it's giant.
That's cool.
And it's going to be about 1,800 yards, I think.
Oh, pretty.
That's a beautiful color. It's a deep, deep purple.
Yeah, very deep tonal purple, and it's Malabrigo sock in Dewberry. Yes. So
Malabrigo.
I have 2,000 yards of this. I'm not sure when that's going to get cast on because now we're starting the step-by-step sock along, and I have my mother's sweater to finish still.
Have you worked on it for a 12-hour block?
A little bit. That's next on my 12-hour rotation. I've worked on it a little bit, but it needs probably 10 more hours in the rotation. Right. So that's my goal right now is we're doing this sock thing every other day, but we're doing it in bite-sized small segments, and so I can work on her sweater between, you know. So, right. So the shawl's going to wait for a while, and that's fine, but it was a good deal on the yarn, and so that's all right. It'll wait for me.
I have a lot of projects waiting for me. You know, when you buy it and you have that, oh, I'm buying this for this, oh, I'm buying this for this.
So Jill, you shared in a message with me something about a March Madness thing over at Mason-Dixon Knitting. What's going on with that?
Gosh, I'm so excited. My friends, I have a couple knitter friends that were talking about it last year, and I got in too late, so I'm going to try to get in this year. So it's called March Mayhem, and it's just like March Madness. It's Mason-Dixon Knitting. And what they do is they take quite a while and they go through a whole bunch of different patterns. There's different categories. There's sweaters, there's extremities. So they do, hands and feet. They do heads, and then they do neck and shoulders. So there's 4 different categories. And what they do is they pick probably 20-ish patterns that are representative of the year and of different designers for each. And every week they'll have people vote till you come down to one winner of each category. Oh. And so for the past 3 to 4 weeks, they've let you browse through the patterns. Okay. So a few days ago, they released hands and feet. So you can go to their website, and it's an easy way to do it too, because they have them all listed and you can just click and it'll do a small picture, but then you can go to their Ravelry page to look at it too. And it's a great big bracket. They have an interactive piece where you can pick and set up your own bracket. And
I love that.
They opened up the voting this Friday, and you have to vote for 8 in each category, and they'll continue to vote until there's 1 or 2.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, you see patterns that you wouldn't have ever seen.
Right.
Like, if you didn't make the top 20 in Ravelry, or you weren't looking for something in particular. The other thing, I've seen a couple designers that I followed for a really long time. You know, one used to just make washcloths, and then she made other things, and then she made hats. You know, to see somebody like that in there too,
that's neat.
It's been pretty cool. It's been fun.
I'm sure it's fantastic exposure for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a neat little thing, so I'm kind of excited.
We'll put the links down below to all that.
Yes, to be able to participate in that conversation too with the coffee shop ladies.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, we'll have to check that out. I didn't have any idea that was going on. That's neat.
It's really cool.
That's fun. So what's next on your needles? I mean, I know you have your frog it or finish it thing going on. When you cast on something else, what's next?
Well, including the socks that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
That'll be what I'm doing next is socks for my husband.
Oh yeah, that's right. You mentioned that. So
Yep.
you might get a new cast on.
Yes, that's what you said.
I am going to do a headband for my mom. My mom doesn't wear hats, but her ears get cold, so I'm going to do an ear warmer.
Oh, cool.
Pretty.
That's neat with cables.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is that worsted?
Yes.
And what's the name of the pattern? Because I'll put it down below.
It is called Woven Cable Headband.
Okay.
There's also a hat that I want to make. I'm going to pull it up while you.
By Erica and Eleanor.
Okay.
Woven Cable Headband. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a pair of slippers for my sister-in-law. I'm going to try out a new project bag.
Oh, tell us about that.
That one is called the Leah Drawstring Bag. I like the kinds that are more boxy. I would like to try a kind that's a little bit more boxy with just a quick pull tie at the top. So that will be my new adventure in project bag stuff.
Cool. So do you know what color you'll make that headband for your mom? Do you have the yarn picked out?
Yes, I do. It'll be gray. Shocking, I'm sure, to everybody. However, the outdoor events that she attends, she tends to wear a lot of gray for school colors of the grandchildren. So
okay,
I'll make sure that it matches her hat.
Alpine Lodge. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think that'll be my next hat.
Right on.
Yeah.
Did you see this one, Linz?
Oh no, that's pretty.
Move it down a little. What's the title? The Avery Beanie. Okay.
And then I also want to make these. These are called Mittens That Never Forget. I'm probably not going to make them anytime soon, but I just really like them.
Oh, that's cool.
Elephants.
Aren't those cute? I know.
So cute.
Are those made of fingering or DK?
Fingering.
Okay.
No, wait. Worsted.
Really?
Oh.
That's what it says.
Wow. I have too many whips to get through to think of the next thing. Well, I know what I'm going to do the next thing. I have several things that are the next thing. Right. So on the channel, we're doing the knit a sock step by step until for the next 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the segments and how the videos break out. And then in March, I'll just go ahead and tell people that have lasted this long on the podcast.
Isn't this March?
Oh, it is March. Okay, but if you've been watching the podcast all the way until now, and you've hung in with us however many minutes this is, your sneak peek is that in April, we're going to be knitting a mosaic shawl together.
So excited.
That's right. And if you've watched the podcast until now, you just got the preview. News. You get the news first. Okay.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first. All right, thanks for joining me, you guys. It's been fun. I haven't seen you in a long time. It feels like
It
a
has
long
been
time
fun.
since we've gotten together.
It does.
So join us over in the patron group. If you want to learn how to become a patron, go to patreon.com/Purl Together. You can join us over there as well. And also on the Ravelry and Facebook groups. Links are down below. All right, thanks, you guys. Bye.